Millions of Americans shop at stores like Walmart, Lidl, Aldi, and Kroger every single day. The products you see on the shelves are supposed to go through food safety checks, and while most of them pass, some definitely do not. The Food and Drug Administration has issued recalls for specific products from these very stores after lab tests uncovered dangerous bacteria and toxins. Before we go any further, I want you to drop a comment below and tell me which of these 4 stores you shop at the most. I'm curious to see just how many of you could be affected by what you're about to hear. The information in this video comes directly from official warnings published by the FDA, laboratory results from university food science departments, tests commissioned by consumer advocacy groups, and consumer safety reports from U.S. media outlets covering the recall season of 2025. Every product name, every lot number, and every test result you're about to hear has been cross-referenced with these sources for accuracy. 6 products have made it onto this critical list. Here they are, and our countdown starts right now. Coming in at number 6 are the vine-ripened tomatoes sold at Walmart. Back in November of 2025, a consumer advocacy group released the results of lab tests conducted by a certified food safety research institute. They tested vine-ripened tomatoes purchased directly from a Walmart store. The results showed the highest level of ethifon among all the major grocery chains tested, coming in at 1 to 2 milligrams per kilogram. Ethifon is what's known as a plant growth regulator. It works by speeding up the ripening process by breaking down into ethylene gas inside the fruit itself. The legal limit for ethifon in tomatoes is 2 milligrams per kilogram. So this result is technically just under the legal threshold. But this is where it gets concerning. You see, ethifon penetrates deep into the flesh of the fruit, which means washing your tomatoes won't completely remove it. Studies on animals have shown that high doses can potentially cause liver damage. According to U.S. food safety standards, the risk to humans is considered low, at levels below the legal limit. Walmart sells a staggering volume of produce across its thousands of stores, which is why even a result that's below the limit is significant for the public health discussion. American consumers eat a huge amount of tomatoes year-round, especially those imported during the winter months. Nutrition experts in the United States often point to the so-called cocktail effect, where small amounts of different chemicals from various foods combine in your daily diet. If you regularly eat tomatoes from Walmart, you might want to consider switching to seasonal, locally grown tomatoes or certified organic varieties whenever they're available. Next at number 5, we have the vine-ripened tomatoes sold at Kroger. The very same study by the consumer advocacy group also tested tomatoes from Kroger stores. Ethifon was detected at a level of 0.13 milligrams per kilogram. This was one of the lowest results among all the major grocery chains tested. The legal limit remains the same, 2 milligrams per kilogram, placing this result well below the safety threshold. Dollar General is rapidly expanding into smaller towns and rural areas across the United States, offering fresh produce at competitive prices. The low level of ethifon found is a positive sign for its customers. Nevertheless, the very detection of a synthetic growth regulator serves as a stark reminder to consumers that imported products often carry chemical residues. Let me know in the comments if you check where your tomatoes come from before tossing them into your cart. The issue of cumulative exposure is also highly relevant in this case. Even low levels of pesticide residues add up across your entire grocery basket over weeks and months. Experts recommend thoroughly washing and peeling produce whenever possible, although ethifon specifically resists surface removal because it gets absorbed directly into the fruit's tissue. Number 4 on our list is raisins from Uzbekistan that were sold at Walmart. In February of 2025, the Food and Drug Administration issued an official warning regarding a batch of these raisins, which are simply dried grapes, imported from Uzbekistan and available in Walmart stores. The reason for the recall was that they exceeded the maximum allowable level of ochratoxin A. So what is ochratoxin A? It's a fungal toxin produced by certain molds, primarily from the Aspergillus and Penicillium families. These molds thrive on dried fruits that are stored in conditions with excessive humidity or improper temperatures. Ochratoxin A is nephrotoxic, which means it specifically damages the kidneys. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies it in Group 2B, indicating that it is possibly carcinogenic to humans. Long-term exposure can lead to kidney disease, and laboratory studies on animals have confirmed its cancer-causing properties. Walmart often promotes dried fruits as healthy snacks and baking ingredients, attracting health-conscious customers. However, imported raisins from countries with warmer climates carry a higher risk of mold development during transport and storage. The recall was limited to a specific batch, which shows that the import control system does work when a contamination is detected. If you regularly buy dried fruits, make sure to store them in airtight containers and choose products with a shorter shelf life. The recall was swift, but anyone who bought that batch before the warning was issued should throw it away immediately. Stop for a moment. If you're learning something new from this video, please click the subscribe button. Over half of the people watching right now aren't subscribed, and staying up to date on food safety is worth a single click. Number 3 is Good & Gather brand all-purpose flour, which was sold at Aldi. In February of 2025, the FDA warned consumers about this flour, which is a private label brand belonging to Aldi. Laboratory tests detected Shiga toxin-producing Escherichia coli. This is the same type of dangerous bacteria often found in contaminated meat products. Finding it in flour is incredibly alarming because people use it for everything from bread and cakes to pasta and countless other recipes. The contamination could have occurred during the grain harvest or the milling process if hygiene standards were compromised at any point. The Shiga toxin causes severe food poisoning, with symptoms including intense diarrhea, which is often bloody, along with abdominal cramps, vomiting, and fever. In serious cases, it can lead to hemolytic uremic syndrome, a devastating condition involving kidney failure, a type of anemia where red blood cells break down, and a dangerously low platelet count. Aldi operates with a streamlined inventory and relies heavily on its own private label brands, which can actually allow for quicker recalls when problems arise. American consumers looking for budget-friendly pantry staples at Aldi should always check the FDA's recall website before using flour products for any large baking projects. Always store your flour in a dry place and be alert for any unusual smells or discoloration. Even dry goods that seem perfectly safe can carry serious bacterial risks when contamination occurs at the source. Number 2 is Tyson's beef tartare sold at Lidl. In October of 2025, the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service initiated a recall for Tyson's beef tartare with the lot number 8502528-0202 and a use-by date of October 24, 2025. This specific product was available in select Lidl stores across several U.S. states, including major markets in California, Texas, Florida, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. The reason for the recall was identical: contamination with Shiga toxin producing E. coli. Beef tartare is a product eaten raw or with minimal heat treatment, which makes any bacterial contamination exceptionally dangerous for consumers. The Shiga toxin damages the blood vessels in the intestines and kidneys, and severe cases often require hospitalization. Lidl has been operating in the United States for years, with dozens of locations, and uses centralized procedures for product recalls, informing customers through in-store notices and online alerts. While not a mainstream dish, beef tartare has a dedicated following in American gourmet circles and is sometimes featured as a delicacy at holiday gatherings or upscale weekend meals. The findings from the USDA are therefore of huge public health importance, especially considering the high-risk nature of the product. Drop a comment if you've ever been brave enough to try beef tartare from any store. Customers who buy raw meat products should always check for recall announcements, particularly for items that won't be fully cooked before eating. And at number 1, the most significant entry on this list is the Tyson onion deli sausage sold at Walmart. In October of 2025, the USDA issued a public health alert concerning this Tyson brand onion sausage, which was available in Walmart stores nationwide. The specific lot number in question was 82252811, with a use-by date of October 24, 2025. The product was pulled from the shelves after testing confirmed the presence of Shiga toxin-producing Escherichia coli, or E. coli. This bacterium typically finds its way into meat products through fecal contamination during the slaughter or processing stages. The Shiga toxin is particularly dangerous because it can lead to hemolytic uremic syndrome, a severe complication that involves kidney failure, hemolytic anemia, and thrombocytopenia, which is a dangerously low platelet count. Initial symptoms include severe diarrhea, which is often bloody, intense abdominal pain, vomiting, and fever. Children under 5 years old, the elderly, and individuals with compromised immune systems are at the greatest risk. Walmart is one of the largest retail chains in the United States, with thousands of stores, so any contaminated batch has the potential to reach an enormous number of consumers. The company immediately notified customers and facilitated returns of the product. This incident highlights the immense supply chain challenges that massive retail corporations face. The rapid turnover of goods and constant pressure on pricing can sometimes compromise quality control measures at the supplier level. If you purchase processed meat products at Walmart, always